students, it's Mrs. Giroux, and I am making a video tutorial about how to make and mail a Valentine for someone you love. First of all, in your email, you're going to find a link to the attendance quiz today, and you're going to complete that. So you'll start by typing your first name. So I am Rachel. And then you are going to choose what class you're in. So if you're in my 9 a.m. class, then you would click 9 a.m. So if you're in 10 a.m., you would click on that. If you're 11 a.m., you'd click that. If you're 1 p.m., you would click that. Or if you're 1:30 p.m., you'd click there. Okay. Next, you're going to tell me whether you attended class live with me, or if you did not attend class, you watch the recording. So go ahead and click, and hopefully you attended the live class with me. If not, and you watch the recording, that's great too. You'll click there, and that'll take you to a series of different questions. So answer those questions carefully. And once you finish answering those questions for those who watch the recording and for those who click live class. Okay. And it will say if you were absent to watch this recording here, and it gives you the link. So if you were absent, go ahead and watch the class recording. And then it also says to review the slides below from class and remember what we learned today. Match the animals with a continent. So hopefully you remember doing that, and you can remember which animals go on which continent. The question, will polar bears and penguins ever meet in nature, was something we talked about in class. We talked about what is an acronym, and we went through a list of commonly used acronyms, and we asked, and I'm asking you now actually, can you think of any more acronyms that you might use? Text messaging uses a lot of acronyms. Have you ever filled out an envelope to mail a card? And so we talked about the abbreviation for Utah, and we said that the state's abbreviations capitalize both letters. And for your homework, you're going to make a Valentine card for someone you love and complete the envelope, and we'll get to that in a moment. But these were just the slides from our class to help jog your memory of what we did today in class. And then the next assignment here says, next, write a paragraph. It says, write a paragraph describing at least 3 things you learned in class today. Here's an example of how to write a paragraph. And I put an example here, and you can use some of this. So it says, today in Mrs. Giroux's class, I learned 3 things. First, I learned. Next, I learned. Finally, I learned. In conclusion, what I liked most about this class was. So that's an example. So you would go ahead and put your cursor there, and you'll start typing. Today in Mrs. Giroux's class, I learned 3 things. Okay. First, I learned that polar bears live on the North Pole in North America, and penguins live on the South Pole in Antarctica. Therefore, polar bears and penguins will never meet in nature. Next, I learned that, Next, I learned a list of commonly used acronyms. Acronyms, I'll say, each letter of an acronym stands for the first letter of a word. For example, LOL stands for laugh out loud. Perfect. And then finally, I learned that the abbreviations of states need to have both letters capitalized, like Utah is UT. In conclusion, what I liked most about this class was talking about the NFL. Hee hee. Go Patriots. So that is just an example, okay? So the paragraph needs to have 5 sentences, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to erase this and go back, and let's just say that I didn't complete enough of it. It's going to tell me right here, you need to add more details. You need to write at least 5 complete sentences. Your paragraph needs 1 topic sentence, 3 supporting detail sentences, and 1 conclusion sentence. Now, I wrote way more than that. So this is just the minimum of 5 sentences. Make sure your sentences start with capitals and end with periods. Read your paragraph out loud to make sure your sentences are complete thoughts that make sense. When you read them out loud, that usually helps. Let me see if I can. Nope, I can't redo what I wrote, but that's what's going to happen. And I'll just go ahead and la 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 la. You guys saw me do it before, but just to get all the, there we go. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that error. Okay, but you need to write yours because I'm actually going to read them and grade them, okay? So what continent do you live on? Continent. So you're going to answer that question, okay? And I am not going to answer these questions for you. I'm just going to put the United States on all of them and I'm just going to go with the first answer on all of them. I'm not even going to look at them, but when you answer them, you need to answer them correctly, okay? And then comes the homework. The homework, February 6th and 7th homework. 1, make a Valentine card for someone you love. 2, fill out the envelope as instructed in this video tutorial. 3, take a picture of your card and envelope. 4, email a picture of your work to Mrs. Giroux. 5, then put your card in the mailbox and lift the flag. 6, your loved one should get the card in time for Valentine's Day. 7, does anyone else need some TLC? All right, and then your video tutorial is that I'm making right now is going to be found here. So, okay, so first you're going to make the card. And so what I do with my daughter is I cut out little pieces of paper, and I actually have all of these taped down. You can't see it with clear tape, so there's a little border around each of the cards too, and she's just kind of been working on them. This one right here is finished, so that's the one I'm going to be using. So I pulled that one out from the tape. Here's just a cute little close-up of her working on her cards. And all you need to make cards is just paper and some Valentine's colored pens, purples and pinks and reds. We actually have an Epic Trolls sticker book, and it has some fun stickers in there with hearts and stuff. So maybe you guys have some stickers around the house that you could pull out and use, or stamps. Oh man. Family members love it when you trace your hand. That's always a favorite, is when you can trace your hand and do something fun. Write something special, write a fun note. Okay, and then as you can see, I have peeled off that piece of paper from underneath the tape, and it has that nice little border around it. And I get these little card sets, so they'll have a card and an envelope. And what I do then is I flipped that piece of artwork here, I flipped that over, and I'm just gonna put some glue all along the back of it, and then I glue it onto the front of the card. And that looks really nice and professional, right? And it's got my daughter's awesome artwork on it. And then she went ahead and wrote on the inside her message. This is going to her Grandma Barb and Grandpa Joe. And then you want to get your address book out. I still have an old-fashioned address book. When you open that up, you have all of your family's addresses in there. It's really handy. And then you're going to fill out your envelope. So this is where your information goes. This is the person who's sending it. And the reason why you put your address over in this corner is because if for some reason they weren't able to deliver it, for example, if the address wasn't correct or the person has moved, they'll send it right back to you. So this is called the return address. So if they have to return it to the sender, you need to have your information here. So you're going to put your first and last name, or I sometimes will just put the Giroux family, and you'll put your street address, the city that you live in, comma, and there's our abbreviation for Utah, capital U, capital T, and then your zip code. So if you need to get some help with your learning coach to find out all those details, please do. And then this is the person who's going to receive your card. This is who you're sending your card to. So I just have a little abbreviation here for Grandma and Grandpa Giroux and their street address. This is their house number, and the city, Spanish Fork, comma, Utah, and their zip code. And then of course you put a stamp in the corner. And once you get done with that, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your camera and you're going to take pictures just like I did, okay? And then you're going to plug in your USB cord to your computer, to your laptop, okay? And now I'm going to show you what's going to happen when you do that. So once you do that, on your screen, you're going to get this autoplay dialog box. These little boxes that pop up are called dialog boxes. And what I like to do is I like to open my device to view files. Now, if this isn't opening up files for you, you might have to turn your phone on, and there might be a message on your phone that's asking you, basically giving permission to access the computer and use it to open your pictures, right? So I usually, when it gives me that message, I will just let it display all the media. So if it has an option for all media or something like that, click the one that's going to give you full access to your phone to be able to see your phone's files. And then I like to open the device to view the files. So once I do that on mine, you can see that my phone is the Galaxy Grand Prime. I have a card, a memory card on my phone, and then this is my phone's memory. But I've got my pictures going right onto that card. So you're either going to be picking, if you don't have two cards, then you're automatically going to get the next thing that comes up. And if you click on this little arrow, it gives you a drop down box. You'll get this DCIM, okay? And then go ahead and click on that little arrow because that gives you a drop down box. And then you should be able to find camera. So once you click on camera, then you'll see all of your pictures coming up. Now it's loading right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and switch. I'm going up here to this corner. I'm gonna switch this to small icons. That's gonna help it load the pictures a lot faster. I could have even done list. There we go. It loaded up everything super quick because the list doesn't take very much memory. But I know that the pictures I just took are all the way on the bottom, and I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna slide this up because I wanna be able to see what they are. I'm gonna slide it up to extra large icons. I'm gonna bring this all the way down to the bottom. Perfect. So they opened up really fast because I switched it to list mode first, and then I switched it to extra large icons so I could see what I had. So these are all my pictures that I took, and you guys were just seeing that. Now, if you want to play around with these pictures, you've got to get them off of your camera first, okay? So like if you need to rotate any of them. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to click on my first one, and then I'm going to hold down the shift key. Hold the shift and scroll all the way to your last picture, and you'll notice that when you held down the shift, it added all of the pictures in between your first and your last click, okay? And then if you just want to copy them, you can right click and copy. Okay, and I'm going to move them over to the computer now. So on your computer, you should have a pictures folder. And I like to use these little arrows here so I can see my drop down. And if you go into my pictures, hopefully you have a class. Let's say this is your geography. So I've got a geography folder, and then I've got a homework folder that I made for geography. You can make folders just by right-clicking and go New Folder, and then it gives you a chance to name whatever you want to name that folder, okay? But I don't really need it, so I'm gonna right-click on that, and I'm just gonna delete that folder, okay? Because I already made one for homework. And I'm just gonna click on that. I can right-click on that, and I can go paste, and it's gonna paste all my pictures that I wanted to paste from my camera on there. And now when I double click, it's gonna bring up my picture, my previewer. It's like called Windows Live Photo Gallery, right? And I can make that big. And now if I wanna rotate it, I can rotate it, and it's automatically gonna save on my computer. So the point I'm trying to make here is that if you wanna be able to rotate your pictures, like that one better like that, you have got to move them over to your computer first and take them off the phone's camera. Because if you are over here on your phone's camera, guess what? Change that to list, because then it's gonna load really fast. See how fast that green line went through? Now you can change it to extra large icons. If I open them from my camera and I wanna rotate it, guess what? It doesn't give me the option to rotate it. It won't let you do it on your camera, okay? So if you're like, I can't rotate it, well, that's because you first need to copy it and paste it over to your computer, okay? Your computer's libraries. Go into your pictures and then right-click and paste it into whatever folder you want to put in. So that's how you're going to get your picture onto your computer so that you can mail it. Now, what if you, for whatever reason, are experiencing technical difficulties and you just can't get your pictures on your computer? Well, that's okay. You could actually email them to yourself from your phone. So if your mom has email set up, she can just attach them to an email document and email them to herself. And then from her email, she can download them and save them to your folder, okay? Or you could Facebook them to yourself, and you can download your pictures off of Facebook and save them to your computer in your folder. So those are just some ideas of how to get your pictures to your computer. Now, it is very possible that if you are not in high school, or you're not sure how to do email on your computer, you could just skip all those steps and take your pictures, and from your phone, you could email Mrs. Giroux from there. Here's my email address. And there's my email. It's got my maiden name, so it's rhart@utahvirtual.org. Pause this video if you need to type that in. However, if you are in high school and you do have an online high school that looks like this, or even if you're in a different grade and you do, and you have a way that you email your teachers through there. I'm not sure how that would look, but this is how it looks for high school students. You'd go to your basic world history class. And when you do that, you'll notice that it has create a new message here under email, and you'll click on that. And here is where you can upload the attachment of your pictures. So you would go in to your pictures, to your geography folder, your homework, and let's see. So maybe you want to send me this picture right here. Uh-oh, you probably better rotate it first. So make sure you've gone in and you have rotated all of the pictures that you're gonna send me. So if this is one you're gonna send, rotate it. And let's just make sure the other ones are sent correctly. And then I wanna see your envelope too. Okay, So those ones are correct. So now you can see that I've went through down here at my Windows Live image previewer, and I can double click on this one and that uploads that, and then I'll go in and I'll double click on the envelope, and then you can put in here subject, Valentine's card and envelope. And you want to make sure that you tell me who you are. So, hi, Mrs. Giroux, this is, and then put your first name. This is so-and-so. I'm in your 9 a.m. class. Okay, and then my Valentine homework is attached. And then your name. Well, I guess you don't need to put your name because you're going to sign it. Okay, you can say I'm in your 9 a.m. class and then your first name. There. That makes more sense. And then here where it says to, you're going to put R. You're going to put Rachel Giroux. There I am. Okay. And that's it. And then you'll scroll down and you'll click send. And up here it will say your message has been sent. And then I'll open up my email and it will be there. Yay! And you can see I just did get an email notification that the Valentine's card just arrived. I could click on that and open it up. So the next thing you're going to do after you email it to me is you're going to head on out to your mailbox, and however it is that your mailbox works, we put ours in the front here. Sometimes you just slip it inside the mailbox and close it up. And then you got to take that little flag that's on the side and you've got to lift it up. That tells the mailman or mailwoman that you have an envelope that needs to be mailed to somebody. And that is all you do. So I hope you enjoy this homework assignment. And of course, if you can think of anyone else who needs some tender loving care, some TLC, you can repeat and make as many Valentines as you like and mail them or give them to the person in person, face to face. That's always fun, but homemade cards are awesome. Family members love them. So I hope you enjoy this assignment. If you mail them out today or tomorrow, your relative or friend will get them in time for Valentine's Day, which is next Tuesday.